Okay, welcome to a new episode of Nate's MMA Corner. I'm Nate, and if you watch my show, you're in my corner. So today's episode is a pre-fight show for UFC 209, Thompson versus Woodley for the UFC Welterweight Championship of the World. And then in the co-main event, you got interim lightweight title fight with Khabib Nurmagomedov versus Tony Ferguson. And the winner will presumably get to face Conor McGregor. Wow. This is going to be an amazing fight card. Hopefully everything goes my way in this fight card. If everything does, from a fan perspective, this will be one of the greatest pay-per-views of all time. Yeah. With that said, let's get started. So this is pre-fight show, the main card with my predictions, and let's get started. So in the main event, we have Tyron Woodley defending his belt against Stephen Wonderboy Thompson in a rematch because the first fight was a draw. And that was at UFC 205, I believe it was, in New York. And then, yeah, this one's UFC 209, so it's kind of a quick turnaround for a welterweight title fight. However, it's going to be an awesome fight. I am picking Stephen Thompson by decision in this one. I think this fight goes to decision yet again. However, I think Thompson fine-tunes his striking and avoids being taken down as much, because I think Thompson has great takedown defense. I think Chris Weidman has taught him well, and his takedown defense is overall pretty good. And I think he lets his hands go a little bit more in this fight, and I think he should have let his hands go in the first fight, and had he done that, he would have won. And I think he looks back at that and realizes that he messed up there. And I think the first fight, after watching it, I think that, in my opinion, Tyron Woodley should have got the decision. I think he did more damage and he got more just better positions. The takedowns really played a factor. So I had Tyron Woodley winning the first fight, but yeah, the judges officially declared it a majority draw. This one, though, I think Stephen Thompson controls the pace of this fight and wins by unanimous decision. I think he wins 3 of the 5 rounds. I think this fight ends up being close again, but this time around, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson gets it done. And then there will be a lot of people angry, debating on who should have got the decision. I think this will be a fairly close fight, but I could see Thompson squeaking out 3 rounds here. Then in the co-main event in the lightweight division, we have the UFC interim title fight with Khabib Nurmagomedov versus Tony El Cucuy Ferguson. Tony Ferguson, season 13 of The Ultimate Fighter winner. And yeah, Tony's on a 9-fight win streak. Khabib's 24-0, but the caliber of fighters that Khabib has fought compared to the caliber of fighters Tony's fought, and Tony just blew Rafael dos Anjos out of the water. So I think that Tony gets it done late in this fight. I think that Khabib actually gets takedowns in the first couple of rounds and maybe all the way into the 3rd round. But then I think Khabib wears himself out, and I think Tony has cardio for days. And I think that plays a factor in this. And I think eventually Khabib has issues getting those takedowns in rounds 4 and 5. He's going to wear himself out. And Tony Ferguson will let his hands go as needed and pick his shots and come with really unorthodox shots. And I think Khabib's going to get exposed here. I think we're going to see that if his wrestling gets thrown out the window, and his gas tank goes out, his striking is really going to be very generic and really basic, and Tony's going to figure that out quick, and Tony's going to pick him apart. So I got Tony Ferguson getting 4th round knockout in this fight. I think Tony wins it, most likely 4th round, if not the 5th round. But this is going to be a hard-fought fight for Tony. Tony's going to have to weather a little bit of storm in those first couple rounds. And again, maybe the 3rd round. But yeah, Tony... and Tony also has a good collegiate wrestling background, which will play a factor. And I think the takedown defense, that'll help with his takedown defense in the later rounds. I think initially he's going to struggle with his takedown defense, but then he's going to find his groove, and then in later rounds, especially if Khabib gets worn out with trying to take Tony down all the time. Then in the middleweight division, we have Rashad Evans versus Dan Kelly. Dan Kelly, UFC veteran, and Rashad Evans, former UFC light heavyweight champ of the world, who knocked out Forrest Griffin to win the light heavyweight title back in the day. And yeah, Rashad Evans trying to reinvent himself at middleweight, and I think Rashad gets it done in this fight. I think Rashad uses his striking in this, and I think actually Rashad quite possibly avoids the ground game because Dan Kelly has a great judo background. And I think Rashad's killer collegiate wrestling at Michigan State and Dan Kelly's judo background, I think it kind of negates itself, and they don't necessarily want to deal with it because Dan Kelly gets taken down. He knows Rashad could try to play that lay and pray game. So Rashad Evans also doesn't want to get taken down by Dan Kelly because of the judo background. So we're going to have, it's going to turn into a stand-up war, and I think Rashad gets the better of the exchanges and really throws some flashy strikes out there and gets it done. I'm picking Evans by decision. Then in the light heavyweight or the lightweight division, we have Lando Venata versus David Tamer. Lando Venata, I mean, the guy is a beast. I mean, this is a guy that gave Tony Ferguson a run for his money. And yeah, David Tamer, he's Ultimate Fighter veteran, talented guy, but Lando Venata, I mean, this is a guy that trains at Jackson Winklejohn and has gotten performance bonuses already this early in his UFC career. So I'm going with Lando Venata on this. I think Lando Venata gets it done. Actually, first round knockout. I think he hits him at some odd angle that David Tamer did not see coming. And David Tamer is a talented fighter, don't get me wrong, but Lando Venata, I mean, the sky's the limit for this guy. I think this guy, we'll see him in the top 15 in about a year or so, maybe a year and a half. Okay, then in the heavyweight division, to kick off the main card, you got one of my all-time favorite fighters, Alistair Overeem, going up against K1 superstar Mark Hunt. And yeah, this is a heavyweight clash of two talented strikers, but I gotta go with Alistair Overeem. I think Alistair Overeem gets it done. First round knockout. I think that he hits Mark Hunt at some weird angles, and then he gets it done. And he, I think I'll be shocked if this fight goes to decision, and I hope this fight doesn't go to decision. I want to see a big knockout. I'm a fan of both these guys, but I mean, as some of you know, I'm a diehard Alistair Overeem fan, and I think Alistair Overeem gets it done with some really smart footwork, and I think Greg Jackson's taught him well over the years. So, yeah, Alistair Overeem first round knockout, and that wraps up the main card. And then, yeah, on the prelims, we got Mirsad Bektic versus Darren Elkins. That's going to be a good fight. Two good grapplers going at it in the prelims, so that's an honorable mention on the prelims. So stay tuned, and yeah, watch this card, and stay tuned in the coming days for my post-fight of this amazing card. And until then, see ya.